This year's fall play follows Alden High School's long line of comedies. The past 3 years, Spook House, How the West Was Done, and The Hunchback of Notre Dame have all been successes. Airline is a comedy written by Tim Kelly. I visited the directors, Mr. Mashi and Mrs. Farrell, after the first full day of rehearsal to ask why they chose this play and what their initial intentions were with it.
It's very light-hearted. It allows for a lot of laughter. This cast is also very large, and a lot of students have the opportunity of having lines and having an actual lead role with a name.
And it's the first one we brought back from Alden's history. The rest have all been brand new. We're excited to bring the show back because it was really popular when it was here, and also to take a new modern-day approach to it many years down the road.
To Mr. Mashi, I inquired what kind of responsibilities members of the stage crew may have.
It's really student-led. It's all on them. There's a stage manager, a lead technician, so on and so forth, and they're in leadership roles that deliver the product that you see on stage. So they guide the whole team in the right direction, from building, painting, lighting design. We put all that together because really they do. I just guide them in the right direction.
He discussed how stage crew has utilized and is fortunate to have the now year-old control booth in the back of the auditorium.
People may not know this, but we can actually run the auditorium off of an iPad, lighting, sound, so on and so forth. And that continues to grow up there. That's really where our lead technician and all of our technicians really live during the run of the show. It's a really cool place for them to hang out, and they've kind of made it their own, and it's always very exciting for them.
Directing the play versus directing the musical is very different. The play is a little bit more laid back. We add a lot of our own Alden touches to it, and the students bring their own characters in. A lot of times we add different things that happen in rehearsals into the actual production. It's a little more easier because there's only a lot of character building in the script, whereas the musical, there's a lot more parts. We have a lot more dancing to go with the staging, and then we have all of the singing that we tie in, plus the character building. There's usually a lot more details into our set and our sound effects and things like that. So it's a lot more collaboration. It's a lot more on the students to learn not only their vocal part and their lines, but as well as all of the dancing and building really that overall character.
Yeah, the play is really an opportunity too for students that might not be so musically inclined or able to dance as well to really shine in a different platform.
On September 29th from 10 a.m. until 2 o'clock p.m., the cast was invited to participate in boot camp. In Mr. Mashi's words,
the goal of boot camp is to get everybody to get to know each other. We spend a lot of time together in the rehearsal process, so it's really important to build that bond. This time around, we had them put together a skit on what they thought Airline was, and they were pretty spot on, but some were terribly off, and they got to work a lot of improv stuff and character building as well.
It's really about making sure that they work together as a team. If they're characters, so we really want to make sure that they're friends on the outside as well as great characters on the inside, so that the show is more believable and more funny.
I visited Mrs. Amy Frobel in the music wing. She designed the costumes for Airline when Alden performed it about a decade ago. This year, she revealed that the costumes will be based on the 1950s style. Here's what she had to say.
It'll be a very fun show. I am looking to not duplicate what we did previously, but to add new things and new ideas to the costumes. We do add costumes to every show, new things that we sew or that we acquire. We always can use volunteers for ironing, crafting, or sewing.
Describe her character really and how the directors are assisting the cast in becoming more compatible as characters.
Well, I play Barbara, and she's more of a ditzy character, so the directors have really had me channel my inner ditzy girl. I do identify with Barbara a little bit. She's called Bad Luck Barbie, and sometimes I can be a little bit of a klutz, so I get that. And they are really good at helping us mesh together well as a cast and grouping us off into people that we interact with the most and helping us get more real-world experience with that. I'm pretty confident in the show. It reminds me a lot of How the West Was Done that we did 2 years ago. It's a lot of chaos, but hopefully comedy, so fingers crossed. One of my favorite parts about being in the cast of the play is normally how close we get by the end of the show, because there's not as many kids who do it compared to the musical where we have tons of kids. So it really helps us get really close as a cast, and we're like a little family.
This has been Carolyn Freeman reporting for Wax News. Back to you, Hannah and Tim.